notebook setup. Take out your notebooks. So the very first thing to say about your notebook setup is that you need your name on there and the period. All right. So if you haven't put it down, please put it down somewhere. You could use a 3-ring binder if you'd like. You could use a spiral notebook if you'd like. That's totally fine. But if it were up to me, I prefer the composition because it's harder for the pages to tear out. Now let me tell you, on the composition book, we're going to be glue sticking or taping in everything you receive in class. I have 3 sets of tape dispensers at my desk. Feel free to grab some tape and tape everything in whenever I hand it out to you. All right, and I also have scissors there if you want to cut it and make it more sizable for your notebook. So we will be folding a lot of papers into this composition book. If you open up your front cover, you should have the syllabus right here taped onto the front cover. And when I say taped onto the front cover, obviously it's folded. I would just tape this top part. I don't know if you could, well, you can't really see it on this picture, but I just taped in the top part. That way I could have access to open it up and see the whole front side, and also flip it over and see the back side. All right, you don't want to just tape it where you can't see it anymore. So I say just tape this top piece right here. That way you could still see both sides of it. Now, you don't have to do it exactly the way I did it. You could fold it however you want. The only thing I care about is that you have access to both sides of it, right? Same thing with any 2-sided worksheet that I give you. Any 2-sided worksheet, you want to tape it where you could see both sides of it. All right, it's kind of pointless to have a 2-sided page of notes that's printed out for you if you tape the back side and you can't see the back side. So make sure you just tape along one side of it so you could have access to both sides of your paper. So the syllabus should have your signature and your parent's signature on there. It should be on the front cover of your notebook, and I'll be checking that when I check your notebooks probably in a couple of weeks from now. On the back cover, you should have your homework log. And once again, I taped in just this top piece right here. I taped this in pretty solid right here. That way I could flip it over and have access to both sides of this double-sided homework log. So of course you want to be able to have access to both sides to fold it and even open it to the back side. So you want access to it all. Did I already go over this homework log? Mm-mm. No? Yes. Okay, well, just in case some of you forgot, you have to give the date and the section of the book that we're on and the description of the problem. So, I mean, normally you're going to see like 1.4, or no, I'm sorry. Let's say tomorrow's date is going to be 8/14, section 1.4, and we're doing worksheet WSP 1 through 13 odd or something like that. And you give yourself a reflection. It's not really points. It's really just a number that represents how you feel about your homework. So if you feel like a genius, you give yourself a 3. That means you understood every single question on your homework. You could explain it to others. If you understood most of the questions, but you needed help on 1 or 2 questions, give yourself a 2. You're feeling pretty smart. If you're only able to do about half of it, half of the homework, then you give yourself a 1. You definitely need help. Watch the videos, ask questions on Edmodo, or come in and ask questions in the morning. Give yourself a 0 if you don't understand any of the homework. It's just, they're not points, it's just a way to keep track of how you're feeling about the homework, and also a way for me to see how you're feeling about the homework assignments. And remember, those homework assignments are the actual quiz and test questions that you're going to be having. All right, so that should be taped onto the back cover of your notebook. All right. So let's open up to the first blank page on your notebook. And this is kind of ridiculous, but we're going to take notes on the notebook setup. All right, so check this out, guys. Notice that I have the date and the day right there. All right, date and day. So that's also ridiculous for some of us, right? Well, I don't want the date and the day. I already know the day if I know the date. I like to see the date and the day. And that's one thing that I ask of you to have on every single page. All right? No matter what page you're on your notebook, put the date and the day. And you also need a title. Okay, now today's title, Notes on the Notebook Setup. Okay, so what are the notes that I want you to really get down right here? Each page must have a title, date, and day. Those are the three things that each page must have. Title, date, and day. There it is. Each page must have a title, date, and day. What else? Everything should be in your notebook in order according to date. So we're just kind of practicing right here, taking notes. And I might as well hand out this notebook checklist. So this little slip of paper right here, the notebook checklist, I'll be handing this out the week that I will be collecting your notebooks. All right? That way you could make sure that everything is organized. But I'm giving it to you right now. That way you know what I expect of you when you're turning in notebooks. All right? So, I don't know, you might want to tape this in somewhere in your notebook just to have as reference. But you have a description right here. All papers must be secured, glued, taped, stapled, as long as it doesn't fall out, right? So if you do have everything secure, you give yourself 1 point, right? This is when I grade them. You have to grade it yourself in order for me to grade it, right? So when I get your notebook, the first thing I'm going to do is pick it up and I'm going to shake it. If anything falls out, you don't get a point. If everything stays in place, you get a point. What else? Quizzes and tests, they must be in the notebook, right? So whenever you take a quiz or test, I grade it, I give it back to you. You need to glue stick it in your notebook, and you get 1 point for that. If your parents sign it, you get another point. So that's 2 points possible. You give yourself 2 points. All notes and class openers must be accounted for with the title, date, and day, even on the days you're absent. So if I'm looking through your notebook and I see Monday with this date, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you have all the days there, that's great. You get another point right there. Homework, it must be complete with the assignment written on top of the page as well as the date and the day. That's 3 points. Obviously, homework's worth the most. If you only do about half your homework, give yourself a 1.5. If you do most of the homework, you could do like a 2.5, 2.8, right? So you're giving yourself points. You're self-evaluating your work. And obviously, neatness is another 2 points. If you have nice writing, if your notebook is presentable, do you use different colored pens, highlighters, etc.? You don't have to. You can still have a neat notebook and get the 2 points without it. But obviously, if you take pride in your notebook, you will for sure get those 2 points. And of course, when we turn them in, I will be checking your grade, and then I will be going through and giving you the actual points. And most of the time, it's pretty accurate to what you guys give yourself. I mean, sometimes you guys grade yourself a little too hard, right? On neatness, some people give themselves a 1. That's 50%. I mean, and it's like, if you have a decent notebook, you'll get the 2 points, all right? So that's what we're going to be turning in when we turn in notebooks. All right. Any questions on the notebook? So I am going to give you a little slip of paper right now, and you're going to glue stick it in, tape it in. You could do it on a blank side, or you could put it below and fold it, whatever you like. Let me give you that little slip right now. All right, guys. Let's go over this little handout we have right here. So what percent of your grades a midterm?
8%.
8, that's right. 8%. Okay. Your first homework assignment was to sign up for Remind and also Edmodo. Okay. And also get a notebook, right? Notebook. If you're not satisfied with the test score, you can retake it. What do you need to do to retake that test? Corrections, right? Now, what do I mean by corrections? You want to rewrite it, you want to redo it, and with some type of explanation, all right? I'll give you examples of that later. Number 4, what should be on the back inside cover of your notebook? The homework log, that's right. Number 5, what should every single page in your notebook have on it? Title, date, and day, right? I want to know what I'm looking at, and I want to know when you did it. Title, date, and day. Number 6, why is homework important? The questions from the homework are on the test, right? So it's literally practice for the test. It's not just work for you to do. It's actual just questions that are going to be on the test. Number 7, if you're struggling with homework, what can you do? You go on YouTube, to my YouTube channel. What else? Edmodo has all the videos that I'm posting. Or you could ask me for help. Or a classmate, partner, that's right. So there's all kinds of help that you could get. Not only that, the answers are going to be provided for you on the back side of your notebooks. On the back side of your worksheets whenever I give you a worksheet. And of course, I'll be trying to do a video of all your homework assignments of every single question with everything explained on there. And that's about it for the notebook setup.